Hello there, my name is Lamin Jai. So the 2021 US Diversity Visa program has opened, the applications or registration has opened, but I'm not really sure how many Gambians are aware or know what this program is all about. So I have Madam Christine Parker. She is the consul officer or the consular officer at the US Embassy in Dhaka, and she would be talking to us about this program. She's here in our studio. Madam Parker, thank you very much for coming to our studios to talk to us about this program.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
So now, let me ask you this. Tell us about the history. How did this visa program come about?
Sure. So the Diversity Visa program was created in the 1990s to make sure that the U.S. was attracting immigrants from countries that historically had a low rate of immigration to the United States. So it's a lottery program that participating countries, their citizens can go in and enter a free lottery for the chance to essentially win an immigrant visa or a green card to the United States.
So the program is meant to attract people who live outside of the U.S. to come and live legally in your country. What specifically is the objective?
Sure. So the objective is to make sure that the United States is maintaining a diverse base of immigrants to our country. And so we're really opening the program to countries that have historically a low rate of immigration to the United States.
So tell us, how does it play out? How does the program play out?
So every year we open an online entry, which is open for about a month, and anyone from a participating country can go and fill out an online entry. There's no cost. The entry form asks for some biographic information, some information about the person who's entering and their family members. And then the following May, we let people know whether or not they've been selected for further processing. And at the end of the day, those people who are selected may end up with an immigrant visa to the United States. Every year we're issuing about 50,000 immigrant visas to the United States based on the Diversity Visa program.
So do you have any specific group of people that you are looking out for, or this is just open to anybody or anyone who wants to apply? It's
open to anyone from a participating country, but there are some requirements that are important to keep in mind. One is that you have to have at least the equivalent of a high school education in the United States. So that's a senior secondary education or 12 years of education to qualify. Or you have to have 2 years of qualifying work experience. It's pretty difficult to meet that standard, so most people qualify based on their education.
And you talked about participating countries there. So do you have some countries whose people are not qualified to apply?
Sure. So some countries that have high rates of immigration to the United States already, for example, Mexico shares a border with us. There are lots of immigrants to the United States from Mexico. They are not eligible to try to get a diversity visa lottery, but countries like the Gambia with a smaller rate of immigration to the United States are certainly eligible to try.
So now let us also talk about the issue of people, because you have certain countries who your country has issues with in terms of issues of terrorism, for example. So do you have any way of screening people, for example, as a way of not attracting someone who might have extremist beliefs, for example?
Sure. So that's a really great question. And of course, as much as we want to facilitate legitimate travel to the United States, we also need to be aware that we have to protect our borders and protect the interests of the American people. So just like with any other visa application, we run a broad spectrum of security checks against anyone who travels to the United States. And anyone who ultimately gets a diversity visa has to undergo those same checks.
The issue of fraud, then, I understand this is something that scammers are also trying to take advantage of, trying to find a way of extorting money from people on the pretext that they can help them secure this. How serious is the issue of fraud in this?
That's also a great question. And Certainly any program that has a free entry for the chance to win a residence card to the United States or green card to the United States is going to attract some bad actors who want to take advantage of people who are interested in the program. So we've certainly seen scams in the past where these bad actors have sent emails to people or tried to steal entrants' data to communicate with them and tell them that they need to pay a lot of money before they can get a visa. I can absolutely tell you that anyone who receives an email that says they won the diversity visa is absolutely being scammed. That's a fraudulent email that should just be ignored and thrown away. We also will never send anyone an email asking for money. So if anyone gets an email asking for money for a green card, they can know that that's fraudulent.
So people should understand that this registration is free. There is no monetary condition attached.
Absolutely. The entry is free. And we encourage people to do their own entries. It's a pretty simple online form. It asks for some general biographic data as well as a photo for the person who's entering and their family members. There is no advantage in having someone assist you with that or paying somebody a lot of money to assist you with that. Everybody has the same chance.
So let me bring you a little bit back then. This program, this year's program, or the 2021 program, when did it open and when would it close?
Yeah, so it opened on October 2nd. It's open now and it closes on November 5th.
And where should people go to, for example, to apply? So
there's only one website where you can get information, the real information about the Diversity Visa program, and that's www.dvlottery.state.gov. That last three letters are really important, .gov, that's the real website.
.gov. Okay, and also can someone, for example, apply multiple times? Is that possible?
No, so you can apply one time per year. So if you applied last year, you submitted an entry, you didn't get selected, you can certainly apply again this year, but you can only enter one time per cycle.
One time per cycle, great. So let me bring you back to the Gambia. Has any Gambian won this lottery? Has it ever happened?
Absolutely. There have been many Gambians who have won the diversity leader and diversity visa and immigrated to the United States on a diversity visa. In fact, we had, I believe, more than 60 winners of the diversity visa last year, and many of them got visas to the United States.
So do you have challenges at all? Aside the fraud aspect, do you have any other challenges in respect of this program? Sure.
So I think the biggest issue we see are people not entering information correctly on their entry. That's really important to make sure that we know who the person is at the time they come for their immigrant visa interview. The second issue we see are people maybe adding some family members who aren't really their family members, thinking it gives them a better chance of winning the diversity visa. The key is to be honest in the entry and honest in the application with your real circumstances and your real identity information.
And what is the U.S. State Department doing in terms of offsetting that challenge?
Sure. So every immigrant visa that we issue has to go to somebody who's qualified for that visa. So unfortunately, if we see that there's false information provided on the application or a DV entry, we have to deny that application. So somebody who enters fraudulent information or maybe adds a family member who doesn't really exist might end up spending money for an immigrant visa that they don't end up getting.
And how is, you talked about the issue of people not entering their information correctly. Does that have to do with their low level of awareness in respect of the program, or is it just deliberate?
So I think it could be a variety of things. I think a lot of people just aren't aware of how careful they need to be when entering their information to make sure it's done correctly. Sometimes we also see people pay a visa assistance company for help doing their entry, and maybe that visa assistance company just isn't as careful as they should be entering that information correctly.
Final words, do you have any?
Yeah, so again, I recommend that everybody fill out their own entry, make sure the information is correct and clear for the person who wants to enter the diversity visa for a chance at that green card, and also not to fall victim to scam. If you're getting an email telling you you won the diversity visa, It's fraudulent, throw it away. And if you get any request to pay money outside of that process, outside of actually going to the U.S. Embassy for your immigrant visa appointment, know that that's fraudulent.
Madam Consular Officer, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That's Christine Parker. She's the Consular Officer at the U.S. Embassy in Dhaka, speaking to us there about the U.S. Diversity Visa Program 2021. That will be it for this interview. Thank you very much for being there. Until next time, goodbye.